Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video.
Clash of the Titans, starring Harry Hamlin as Perseus, Judy Bowker as Andromeda, Burgess Meredith, Maggie Smith, Ursula Andress, Claire Bloom, Sean Phillips, Flora Robeson, and Laurence Olivier as Zeus. Before history, beyond imagination. Clash of the Titans.
But now we must get into Clash of the Titans chat. So I saw you guys saying you have seen, you hadn't seen it. Well, this is actually, I really have not seen this film before. I'd seen clips of it online or, again, referenced in various other media and mediums chat. I know the look of the Kraken. It was a very iconic look in this film. But this is my first time actually sitting down watching the movie chat. And it was interesting. I also read up a little history about the film. It was released in 1981, and it was one of the highest grossing films of that year. Matter of fact, it was the 11th highest grossing film that year. This is a pretty interesting little historical fact check. Also had a budget of about 9 to 15 million, box office 70 million, so it did very well for itself, there's no doubt about that. But it came in at number 2 on its weekend in June 12th chat. It was beat by another film. Does anyone happen to know what that film was that was also released in 1981? That beat it significantly. As a matter of fact, it was the highest grossing film of 1981. Does anyone happen to know what that film is? I was like, oh shit, that was kind of cool. It also went on to be nominated for several Academy Awards. Not E.T., not E.T., but you're close. You're in the ballpark, Twitchy Rascal. You're in the ballpark. Not E.T. Something else that came out a little after. It's not Jaws. Jaws was in the 70s. Zodiac nailed it. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark chat. Came out the same weekend as Raiders of the Lost Ark. And that was a very profitable summer, though, because even though Raiders ate fucking Clash of the Titans lunch and ate its own lunch, too, and every other film that was also out there ate all their lunches, chat. This film still did very well, but not nearly as critically acclaimed as something like Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, all sorts of other awards. But it still did well enough to generate a profit and to capture audience interest, chat. It was also kind of one of the last sword and sandals movies that we see, at least sword and sandals films, and also dealing with like mythology and things, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, because those are like very, very prevalent during the 60s and 70s, stuff like Spartacus, chat. Like, this was kind of the last one. So there was still a lot of general interest in this movie. And kind of give my general thoughts, chat, on the film itself. It's like, okay, the story of Perseus, and the Kraken, Chad, and Medusa, it's one of the best Greek myths. Honestly, it's kind of one of the few Greek myths that end happily. And the thing is, like, Perseus, all of his descendants are like people like Jason and Hercules, who all have tragic ends. But Perseus, he did really well for himself, and he had a very tragic beginning and everything. But it's like, hey man, I fucking got a kingdom, I got a hot wife, well, she's shooting out babies left and right, we're all having a good time, and he died peacefully, chat, after a very successful reign. So it's kind of nice, like, oh yeah, they adapted one of the most positive Greek myths, chat. But for those of you might not even know what the Greek myth's about. Well, let me tell you, chat, because we are opening up at the king of Argos, chat, and this guy, he's not a great guy. He's not the nicest king, because he's sending his daughter and her newly born son, her newly front pooped out baby, chat, to death. Because she can't explain, well, I mean, she does explain why she became pregnant and birthed the baby, chat. Is because Zeus was horny one day and he loves the Earth ladies, chat. Earth women are easy, apparently, for good old Zeus. And fucking the king of Argos, he didn't believe him at all. Darkseid, thing with the 5 biddies. Didn't believe her at all. And he's going on about, it's like, you dare slander my honor and the honor of my people with your your sex, and I will not stand for it. And so in order to appease the god, in his mind, Chad, in order to appease the gods, he says, I'm going to sacrifice my only daughter and her freshly born son to the sea. I'm going to put him in a fucking wooden box. It's actually very, it's well crafted, Chad, very ornate. And we're just going to fucking kick him in the curb and they're going to drown. Good riddance. And so he puts these two people in here, Chad, newly born baby, Perseus. Puts Perseus in there, puts his daughter in there, and they just fucking, they tips him over, Chad. They go out to sea, and he's like, what is that? But Chad, there's this one little seagull. Mine. There's this one little seagull out there. He sees all this shit. He's like, this isn't good. And we just follow this seagull, Chad. And that's when I realized that, wow, that, like, you started seeing, like, in the 1980s, in the 70s, really, just the advancement of special effects. I mean, stuff like Star Wars and Jaws and Raiders and E.T., like, it started to change things. And this movie does not feel like it was made in 1981. In all honesty, it feels like it was made in the early 1960s or 50s because, Andy, you're going to hate me for this, but the special effects, the foamation, as I call it, chat, and I just don't like, a claymation. When you also have it with live action, it just takes me out of it every time. It's an aesthetic thing, and maybe it's personal bias, but that is just not real. There's nothing about that's work. It's never aged well. It's never looked right, and you see these things on these backgrounds, chat. These blue screen backgrounds of these claymation figures or these foamation figures in this case, because they're not clay, they're foam, and it just looks really awkward. And the movie just opens up. We're following this little foamation seagull who changes in size from shot to shot. And it's like, well, I mean, he's on a goddamn mission, chat. And apparently he's going up to some mountain somewhere. Oh, it's Mount Olympus, chat, just like in Greek mythology. And who does the seagull turn into? The god of the sea, chat, Poseidon. And he's there to tell good old Zeus, hey, man, they fucking threw your baby mama and your son into the ocean. I'm just here to tell you. He's like, shit, oh my God. First of all, that's a very horrible thing for him to do. I want you to lay waste to all of Argos. I want you to not only summon the Kraken, but I want to make sure that you wash away every single person who lives there. All right? I want you to kill everybody. I want to make sure you level the whole goddamn thing. And all the other gods, you have like Hera, his wife, he's not happy, chat. Because Zeus is always fucking around. He does not give a shit about Hera. I mean, he sees a mortal lady. He goes, I'm going to turn into a bull. In the case of this movie, I'm going to turn into a shimmering golden waterfall. And when a lady sees a shimmering golden waterfall, chat, just fucking pants down, let's go, apparently, in Greek mythology. I don't get it, but all right. Sure, we'll go with that. Thank you, Dark Slayer, for the 5 days. Zeus he's a drama queen. All the gods are. All the Greek gods are arrogant and indulgent and prideful. They all are, Dark Slayer. And Hera, she's not too happy about this. She's like, just fucking let him die. And she's like, I'm not gonna let my baby mama and my son die. I will not stand for that. But you fucking go. Listen, Poseidon, release the Kraken and lay waste to Argos. And also make sure my baby mama and son land on a nice little island and they can live in peace for a time until, his destiny and all that shit. And so, chat, we cut back to Argos, and the king, he's just fucking so full of himself. He's like, well, today was a good day. Murdered my daughter, murdered my grandson. How could this day get any better? It's like, oh, it's not going to get better, good old Zeus, because then we cut to underwater, chat, in the sea, the Mediterranean Sea, and another really terrible blue screen effect where they have this actor who's playing Poseidon like pretending to be underwater, and he's just doing this, and like, that's not how that works. He's just like, whoa, it's like, come on. And he's walking really slow. It's terrible. And he comes to a big old switch in the wall, and he fucking beeps, bops, and boops. Oh, it's the Kraken. The Kraken comes out now, chat, and it's this giant, like, fish man. He's got like a fish kind of alligator tail. But when he comes up, chat, he's got like these 4 arms. He looks like the creature of the Black Lagoon. If he had like a fish section, his bottom half was like a fish tail, and he had like 4 arms, chat. That's pretty much what he is. He's the big old creature in the Black Lagoon. And this thing pops up and it starts destroying Argos, chat. Huge, massive waves start taking over the city. They actually use like some practical effects, which is cool. So they're actually pumping water into the city, and all the people are like, oh, they're all falling over and shit, drowning. But then we also get another like really bad blue screen effect, where if people going, oh, as this terrible, like obviously fake wave is going on them, oh, like that. It's just, this does not age well. It's shocking. This came out in 1981. I just don't get it. And we also cut to the king of Argos. He's like, but I killed my daughter and my grandson. Aren't you happy about that, Zeus? And Zeus is like, I am not happy. And Zeus has this collection. He has like action figures, chat. He's a fucking child. He has this collection of clay action figures, and he's always playing with them and shit. And he has one for the king of Argos. He goes, I hate you so much. And he smushes him, shit. He smushes, and the king of Argos, he gets all crumpled and shit. And he dies, shit. All of his internal organs, they burst, and he's vomiting all of his internal organs out. She's like, damn, that's a bad death. And he dies, and the kingdom of Argos is completely annihilated, chat. There is not a soul alive. King DJ, welcome to the stream. What's up, Chris? How is your night going? It's going great, man. Just talking about the king of Argos when he just tried to kill his baby mama and grandson, but he fucked up, and Zeus is killing him instead, and his whole people. But I'm doing very well. Hope you're having a great night. But then, chat, we cut to the box that little Perseus was in along with his mom, and they got to a new land, chat. I don't know what the land's called. It's like Seraphicus. I think it's called Seraphos. Seraphos. And they lived there for a good while, chat. Random nudity in this movie. Because apparently this is a nudist colony, and we just see, like, I was like, whoa, shit, bazungas, chat. All the bazungas for all the eyes to see. And Perseus, he lived a very good life, because all he sees is bazungas. And him and his mom, they're just walking on the beach, and they're naked all the time, and he's riding horses, chat. He's getting stronger, he's getting better, he's getting faster. You know, Zeus is watching, like, there's my boy. I love my boy right there. The other gods are like, he's all right. They don't like him, Chad. They don't like him. Why should a mortal be given all these amazing abilities? Because we came from Maloins, that's why. And so, all this is going on. Perseus is growing up into a great man. Not only is he handsome, chat, not only is he strong, not only is he wise, but he is also kind. He's got 4 great attributes. You know, you gotta respect Perseus, chat. He's the best of the Greek heroes, in my opinion. But the thing is, chat, there are many other happenings going on in the world of ancient Greece. Stars again with the 5 base. Thank you. Seen some natural, a lot of bush. There's also a lot of bush. There's no question about that. No Sam Worthington makes the original superior. No. Yeah, the original superior. Yes. If there's a distinct lack of Sam Worthington in your movie, you're golden. You're already on the up and up, in my opinion. I am not a big Sam Worthington fan, Chad. Not my thing. They're in the net. Yep, yes they are. They are indeed, J Cousin. And so, Melissa, good to see you in the stream. Just saw you right there. Hope you're doing very well. But there are other happenings going on in the world of Greece, Chad. And there's this thing in Joppa right now, in the kingdom of Joppa. There's this really shitty guy named Calibos, Chad. Calibos. He's the mortal son of Maggie Smith, who fucking Professor McGonagall, 10 points to Gryffindor. That's her. It's Professor McGonagall. And Zeus is like, this guy's a piece of shit. He's fucking hurting all the peasants. He's like basically taxing the peasants to death. He is destroying the lands that we've given him. He's killing all the wildlife. He murdered my prized flock of flying horses, and now only Pegasus remains. You know, that's a pretty fucked up thing, you know. I don't like this guy. Maggie Smith's like, please have mercy. He knows not what he does. He's like, yeah, he does. He's an evil son of a bitch. And he's fucking wants to marry the princess of Andromeda. It's like, hell no, I'm not going to let him marry Andromeda. No, thank you. I have a new follower here, chat. Davik741. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I'm a new Huckleberry. We're listening to the part when Zeus is going to fuck up Calibos, chat. And so he's like, Maggie Smith, I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to fuck him up real good. And so he takes his action figures again, chat. He's like, meh, meh, meh. And he mutates him, chat. He makes him an abomination. He gives him the legs of a goat, the tail of a serpent, the face of a demon. And he's like, there we go. And so he shall be shunned forever, and he shall live in the swamps of Joppa for the rest of his life. And Maggie Smith's just, fuck! God damn it! She's talking to her husband, Poseidon. He's like, hey, you fucking had sex with some guy. Don't bring me into this right now, okay? You brought this on yourself, McGonagall. And McGonagall's just not happy about this, Chad. She's like, I hate this. You know what? Who I hate even more than Zeus? I hate his goddamn son. If he's gonna ruin my son's life, I'm gonna ruin his son's life. That's what I'm gonna do. And so, chat, she goes over to the little action figure. She plucks one up. There's Perseus. And he's like, Perseus is just having a good time. He was swimming naked in the Aegean Sea. He's doing well, chat. He's just going ahead. He's just sunning his hot, sweltering bod. He's doing good. He's drinking some wine, chat, living the life. He's just out there. Oh, he's much older now. And she's like, I'm just gonna take you here and put you over here. She teleports him, chat, from the island he lived on all the way to the city of Joppa. And now he's in the middle of the amphitheater, which is abandoned, chat, because the city has been cursed because of fucking Calabas, because he's a fucking dick. He's terrible to his people, chat. You don't cut me. That's kind of what happened. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate description, Darkslayer. Again, thank you for generosity. Thank you for the 5 biddies. And so he wakes up. And he's like, what the fuck? Where am I? What happened? He's looking at the moon. He sees McGonagall. He's like, what, McGonagall? And then she goes, she disappears, Chad. He's like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, the goddamn doors of the amphitheater open up. He's like, and there's this guy. He's just like, why are you here? He's got like smoke effects, chat. He's ordained in this ceremonial mask, and fucking Perseus like, seriously, I legitimately don't know. I was on the beach surrounded by naked ladies, and now I'm here talking to a crazy man. And then the guy takes off the mask, chat, and who is it? It's goddamn Mickey. It's fucking Mickey from Rocky, chat. That's who it is. I'm like, oh my god, Rock, you gotta shit thunder and piss lightning. It's that guy. I was like, oh my god, it's Burgess Meredith, chat. That's who it is. Fucking Penguin. It's goddamn Penguin from the Batman the 60s series. I was like, Mickey, and it's perfect, chat, because he's fucking Perseus's trainer. He's very much his Phil to Perseus's Hercules, chat. That's what he is. And so we got good old Mick out there, and he's saying, oh shit. Oh, let me go ahead and talk to you, kid. What's wrong? He's like, well, I was on my island, and suddenly I'm here. It's like, oh, McGonagall's fucking with you. Perseus, you're a bum. He pretty much is doing that. He's a little nicer. He says, yeah, what happened is, did you look at the moon? Gotcha. So that's like McGonagall's moon. And if you look at that moon, she can fuck with you sometimes. And so she teleported you here for some reason. He's like, well, where's here? This is the city of Joppa. He's like, how's Joppa doing? Not great. We're cursed by a real asshole named Calabas. It's terrible. Also, the queen's trying to marry off her daughter Andromeda to some people, but she's cursed too. And every time someone tries to marry her, you got to answer a riddle, and they always fucking fuck it up, chat. We don't have like an Edward Nygma in the town right now, so they fuck up the riddle, and then they die horrifically. So things aren't great. Things could be a little bit better right now. And so Mick's telling him all this, and Percy's like, Jesus, man, oh, that is terrible. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stick around here, try to get my bearings, and we'll come up with a plan, Mick. It's like, hey, fucking game, Perseus. And Mick already knows that Perseus is a good kid. Like, he's being honest with him. He's confused, but he wants to learn, Chad. That's a sign of a good person. Hey, if you don't know something, learn about it. I respect that. Welcome to Stream and Activities. It's the norm. God's messing with people during all the time. And so Zeus, he hears about it. It's like, Maggie Smith, fucking McGonagall, what are you doing? And she goes, what do you mean? I don't know how he got there. It's like, yeah, you did. You touched my action figures. You know what? I don't care. I don't even care. Because Perseus, he is the favorite of my sons. Meanwhile, all of his other sons are right there too. They're like, God damn it, Dad. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to make sure that he has much success in his journeys, okay? He will fulfill his destiny. I want to give him a cool magic sword. Kryptonian Wildflower, thanks so much for the subscription. 5 months in a row, 5-month anniversary. Thank you so much, Kryptonian Wildflower. Raising my glass to you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to give him a magic sword. I'm going to give him a shield that I can Skype with him with. And I'm going to give him a helmet that makes him invisible. And then God's like, that's like a lot of cool gifts. He's like, hell yeah, because he's my son. And so he transports all these gifts down to the amphitheater, chat. Perseus, he's like, whoa. He's like getting all these gifts, chat. He sees the sword. He sees the shield. Zeus is like, hi, Perseus. He almost said Sunshine. He can't. He doesn't want to reveal who he actually is. And he's like, are you Zeus? He's like, yeah, man, listen. You have a destiny to fulfill right now. And I gave you these things so you can fulfill that destiny. See you later. And he just goes, and fucking Mick is like, that is weird. Hey, man, you can't argue with the gods. Go ahead and take him up. Try him out. He's put on the shields, chat, and he sees the goddamn helmet. He's like, I want to go check out what that helmet's about. Speedy G, thank you for the 1 minute. Poseidon is scum for what he did to Medusa. He's not great. He's not a great guy. And so he goes over to the helmet, Chad. He puts it. I was like, "Whoa, you're invisible!" But the thing is, though, if he's walking around, you can still see his footprints, Chad. So you can still detect him. And he's like, "Well, for the most part, if you just walk, relatively quietly and don't make big plodding footsteps, you can get around relatively, silently." And Percy goes, "What, Mick? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to the city and try to marry Andromeda." And he's like, "What are you doing?" He fucking runs off, Chad. He runs off. Because he wants to see Andromeda. He wants to marry her, Chad. That's his destiny, is to meet some broad. And so he goes out there, Chad. City's like, it's okay. The people they're not so much sad, but they're just kind of used to the misery at this point. Like, yeah, it's a fucking living. What are you going to do? He walks up, Chad. He meets a very friendly guard. We're going to call him Jimmy, Chad. I don't know his actual name. We're going to call him Jimmy. He's also in the rest of the movie, too. He helps Perseus on occasion, Chad. But good, like, Perseus like, "So what's going on?" Jimmy's like, "Oh, let me tell you, fucking Perseus. Yeah, all these suitors are lining up, trying to get with the princess, but they keep failing the riddles. They keep all dying. It's terrible." And he's like, "Oh, man, well, I wish I could help." He's like, "Hey, man, appreciate just you being here and asking that if you can help. That's very kind. You want to be bros later?" "Yeah, let's be bros." And they do a little bro fist chat, and he goes off. And eventually, we get to a really creepy scene in the movie because Percy's like, "Well, fuck this. I'm just going to infiltrate the palace with my invisible helmet." So he goes in there, chat, and he goes into the bedchambers of Andromeda. And he's just sitting there watching her. It's like, no, this is not appropriate. Like, that's their first introduction with each other, chat. They didn't have an initial conversation. He didn't see her from afar. It's like, no, creepy. I'm going to sneak into her bedroom and watch her sleep. And he goes in there, chat, and he's looking, and he's like, "Oh, I love you." And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, yeah, a lot of rapey creepiness in Greek mythology, chat. He's like stroking her chin, but oh no, she gets up, but she doesn't really get up, chat. She projects, she has an astral projection that gets up. And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" But doesn't notice her. And then he looks outside, chat, and we see this giant formation vulture come down this golden gilded cage. He's like, "What the hell?" And he walks, and she goes right into the cage. Vulture closes it, picks it up, and it flies off. He's like, "Well, that was fucking weird." And then he goes back to good old Mick. He's like, tell him what he saw, a giant formation vulture in the cage in the astral projection. He's like, "Oh, I know what's happening. Calabas, man, he's a total dick." So what he's probably doing, he has the curse on the entire city. He also cursed Andromeda, and he takes her soul from her every night so he can, like, fuck with it and shit. And Percy's like, "That's terrible." And Mick's like, "Yeah, I know, but we can't do anything about it." It's like, fuck, we are going to do something about it today, Mick. I'm going to follow that vulture. And he's like, "How are you going to follow a giant vulture, man? That's scary." He's like, I got it. I'm going to go after the last flying horse of Zeus's prized flying horse flock, Pegasus." He's like, "That's a really good idea. And I'm going to use all my things that I got. I'm going to use my magic sword. I'm going to use my helmet. I'm going to use my shield, and we'll get him." And so they go out there at night, chat. They go out there at night, and they're like at this specific like watering hole. This is where Pegasus frequents. When the moon hits the pool, chat, Pegasus, he comes out and he starts drinking. And lo and behold, he starts drinking at the pool, puts on the helmet, fucking good old Mick. He hands him the rope, chat, a little bit of lasso, and he lassos Pegasus, chat. But Pegasus is strong. Like, this is no ordinary horse. Even though Perseus, he perseveres, chat, because he lived his entire life training horses on the island with the beautiful naked women. So he got a lot of training. And so he eventually he asks Mick to hold the rope for him. He goes up there and he calms Pegasus. He jumps on Pegasus, bucks a little bit, of course, but Pegasus realizes, "Perseus, you're a good guy. You're not a bad person." And they become best friends, chat, just like in the Disney animated film Hercules. And so they're happy. And they start flying around. We get it was supposed to be a very majestic scene of him flying across the city of Joppa, chat, and the Greek lands, but it's not. It doesn't look good. That blue screen and that formation, it just does not age well. Didn't even look good back then, chat. I'm sorry, it's just an aesthetic thing that bothers me. But he eventually lands there. He's like, "Okay, so next night, I'm just going to go ahead and wait for Andromeda's soul to leave her body, get in the cage. I'm going to follow the vulture." And fucking Mick says, "Good plan." And so it happens again, like I just said, chat. And he follows the vulture. He follows the vulture to the Joppa swamps. And he sees that the vulture has landed there. And she gets out of the cage. And then we see this beast, chat. This monster. It's fucking Calabas. He walks up there. And they keep... Again, this is the thing that takes me out of the film. They consistently cut to the formation creature and an actual actor in makeup. Like, all the time. And it just... I'm like, that's not the same guy. it's like they even have it where they have the actor sitting like next to the actress, like Andromeda, like he's sitting in the chair right next to him, and then it'll cut to another scene of obviously the filmation monster version of him. It's like you can't do that. It does not look good. It just takes me out of it every time. But he's fucking presenting Andromeda with all these gifts, but she just doesn't want it, chat. She's just disgusted by him. Not for what he looks like, but for who the person he is. And he takes her to his little swamp kingdom, chat. And I feel sorry for these actors because, like, for our swamp kingdom, we need ugly people and dwarves. Need a lot of ugly people and dwarves because they all have these little dwarves in these fucking, like, yak suits or something. And all these furs, and they're all like hopping around there, gooble, gobble, geeble, gooble, like all that shit. It's very offensive. And he doesn't give a shit. He's like, these are my servants. And she's disgusted by this whole performance. And, you know, she's telling Calabas, listen, please just let my people go. Like, you can have my soul, but this is just not right. He's like, no, they must suffer, and you will love me. It's like, it's not going to happen, Calabas, okay? And it's like, he's telling her, like, you used to love me. You loved me once. He's like, I never did. You were a horrible, horrible person. He's like, you displeased me, leave. And so she goes back to the birdcage, chat. But then Calabas, he's this fucking mope, and he's being a mopey mopester. And he sees the footprints. He sees Perseus. He's like, what the fuck? Sees this guy walking around. He's like, what? And eventually we find Perseus, because he was just doing some reconnaissance, chat. We find Perseus. He's walking around the swamp. I guess he's trying to find Pegasus, because now he knows that maybe he's going to tell the fucking, I don't know, Joppa people. I don't know, chat. Maybe he knows the location. Not explain why he just didn't kill him there, didn't stab him, but he didn't. So he's walking around, but fucking, Calabas, he jumps out and he starts wrestling. He starts wrestling with Perseus, chat. And they're like, ooh, it's not a good fight, though, because it constantly cuts to the actual actors and then does wide shots of, obviously, two filmation figures fighting. It's not good. But you get the sense it is an intense struggle, chat. And then it cuts. We don't know what happened. And then we see the city. You have the Queen of Joppa. She's presenting Andromeda. She got some new suitors lined up. She's like, all right, boys. Who wants to marry my daughter? Who wants to claim her hand? They're like, I'm not going to do that. I saw what happened to last guy. He turned inside out. His fucking outsides become his insides. His outsides became his insides, Chad. Both. They kept going back in. It was fucked up. So they want nothing to do with her. But then, oh no, Chad. Because the doors open, and who's knocking down those doors? It's Big Dick Perseus. Big Dick Perseus, he walks in there. He's like, I will take her hand. And as soon as Andromeda sees this guy, she's like, put a baby in me, do it! Like, the instant love, chat. Love at first sight, apparently. And he walks up there, she goes, who are you? And I am Perseus. I am the true heir of Argos. And I'm here to accept the hand of Andromeda. She's like, well, okay, appreciate that. You're the first one in a long time. How are you going to do that? You got to, like, there's the curse and shit. He's like, I don't mind. It'll be no problem. Ask me your riddle. Ask me your riddle, princess. And she asks him some riddle. I don't remember the riddle, Chad. It doesn't matter. I'm not Edward goddamn Nigma. I'm not the Riddler here. She asked the riddle, and he fucking nails it like that. And she goes, how do you know that? How do you know the answer was a ring on Calabas's hand? And he says, let me show you. Because he takes out of his sack, Chad, the hand of Calabas, the monstrous hand of his fallen foe, with the ring on it. And she goes, oh my God. Yeah, I chopped his hand off in the swamp, and I told him, like, I spared his life on condition that he would lift the curse from your city and also in turn lift the curse from you. You are now free. And everyone goes, woo! Everyone's so happy about Perseus, chat. They love him. They can't get enough of Perseus. And the queen's like, you will definitely be my son. Let's fucking go. Let's get these two hooked up. And so then, chat, we cut to the Greek gods, and like Zeus is happy. He's like, my son is doing Elliot Hobb, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. Elliot Hobb, hope you're doing very well today. So Zeus, he's happy about it. Percy's like, Percy's a great kid. But Maggie Smith, you fucking McGonagall, she is fucking negative 10 points to Gryffindor. That's her attitude right now, Chad. She's very upset that Calabas got his hand cut off, and she's like, I'm gonna fuck these people up. I'm gonna fucking ruin their lives. And Zeus is like, I forbid any, action taken against my son. But Maggie Smith, she finds a goddamn loophole, and she conspires with all the other gods and say, well, I can't fuck with him, but I can fuck with everyone he loves. And so, on the day of the wedding ceremony between Perseus and Andromeda, chat, the queen gets a little ahead of herself here. She's like, "Oh, we have the two most beautiful people in all of Joppa. No, in all of Greece. No, in all the world. And my very daughter, she's even better looking than goddamn Maggie Smith." And Maggie Smith goes, "Oh, really?" Because then she takes over the First of all, very dumb to say that when the god you worship is Maggie Smith. Not smart, because Maggie Smith, she just like, she takes over the statue, chat, and she cuts her own head off, and the head falls down and goes, "Whoa!" And then the statue's mouth starts talking. It's Maggie Smith. She's possessed to, chat. And she says, "For your slight against me and the very gods that you worship, you so-called worship, I demand tribute. In 1 month's time, you shall sacrifice your daughter to the Kraken. And if you do not, then I will destroy your city, just as Argos was destroyed. I have spoken." And she teleports out of there, and everyone's like, "Fuck." And everyone's very sad. But Perseus, he's like, "Nah, we can fucking fix this, guys. There has to be a way." And he's talking with some people. I think he talks with with fucking Mick. And Mick's like, "You know what? There might be a way. There might be a way to defeat the Kraken." He's like, "How?" "Fucking Medusa. I mean, but she's no, we don't know that yet. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. No. He says there might be a way to find out how we can defeat the Kraken. And he says, but we must consult with the three sisters, the three blind sisters. And it says a very dangerous task because they eat people. It's kind of fucked up, but they're the three oracles, chat. And he's like, "Well, I gotta try." And so Perseus, Andromeda, Mick, and like 3 red shirts and Jimmy, they all head out there, chat. They all head out there and they come upon the 3 witches. Also, fucking Zeus hears about all this shit, and he's like, "Okay, this has got out of hand. Artemis, or Athena, give my son your super smart owl." She's like, "I don't want to give him my super smart owl." He's like, "You're gonna do it, okay?" He's like, "No." And she's, "What if I give him like a cute owl that we can sell to children at McDonald's?" He goes, "Sold." And so Hephaestus, chat, he builds him a little mechanical owl, and they send the little mechanical owl to Ubla. I think his name is Ubla. He flies down there, chat. And everyone's like, "What the fuck is this thing?" And apparently it leads them to the three sisters, chat. So it's like, this thing is, it's worth the shit. It knows what it's doing. And so Perseus, he takes a shine to it. He's like, "Oh, you're a little helpful little Ublon, buddy. Appreciate you." So he takes to the 3 sisters. He's like, "But I'm a little skeptical of how trustworthy they are. So Jimmy, other 3 people, go up there and make sure they don't eat me." And so they're waiting in a specific little crevasse, chat. He goes in there and he's like, "Hey, ladies." And they're like, "Ooh, I'm mad." And chat, they have like this giant crystal ball that they call the eye that helps them see, because all of their eyelids are like skinned over. Like they have no eyes. And so they use this crystal ball to see, and he's like, "Hey, I'd come here for have a question answered. Like, we can help you, but you must come closer to us." And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, we'll come closer to you now." And they're like pushing down all the man meat in their pache. This guy's like, "Help me." He's like, "Nope, stabby, stab." And they come over there, chat. And they're just about to munch on him. But little Ubla the owl, he sweeps down their chat and he grabs the eye from the sisters. And it pops right in Perseus's hand. And Perseus is like, "All right, ladies, now let's get down to the question business." They're like, "Oh, please give us the eye. We need it. We need it to live." He's like, "Hold on. I need to know some facts first. First of all, I gotta fight the Kraken. How do I do that?" And they're like, "It's fucking impossible. Unless you get one thing. But this thing is even more dangerous than the Kraken itself. It is 1,000 times more dangerous." He's like, "Fuck me. Well, what is it?" "You must obtain the head of Medusa. Medusa, she was this beautiful maiden, but she was cursed by Poseidon or somebody. Someone fucked her up and turned her into a serpent monstrosity. And anytime she looks upon a man or woman, they will turn to stone. And her blood is venomous, and it spawns evil creatures, giant scorpions and maggots and bot flies. Chat, it's not good." And she said, you can't look at her eyes, okay? You got to defeat her somehow, but good luck. Well, you can look at a reflection. But don't look directly at her. He's like, "That's really good advice." And like, "Can we have the eye back now?" And he goes, "Yeah, here you go." And he fucking throws it, and whiffs it, chat. And they're like, "No!" They eats it over there, chat. They're scrambling for it. And they're like, okay, let's go to Medusa. Andromeda, she heads back to the capital. She's like, okay, I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm gonna head back there. You got this, Perseus, you got this. Also, Calibus, he's pissed. He's like praying to McGonagall for revenge. He's like, I got you, son. We're gonna fuck up Perseus as much as we possibly can. I mean, I'm a little hamstrung. I'm a little handcuffed right now because of Zeus and things. But I'm gonna help you, baby. I'm gonna help you. But then, chat, we see Jimmy and the three red shirts. They're heading out to the location of Medusa, but it's on a faraway island. It's like, how the fuck are we gonna get over there? We gotta play the troll toll to get into Medusa's hole, because they gotta contact Charon, chat. Charon the ferryman, who is from Greek mythology. He takes the souls of the damned, of the dead, over across the water Styx, chat, the river Styx. And so they blow on that big old horn, chat, and this fucking Grim Reaper, he shows up, it's Charon, and he's like, pay me my goddamn toll to get into Medusa's hole, and they fucking pay him, chat. Speedy, thank you. Thank you so much. And he ferries them over, Chad. I think Jimmy stays behind. He's like, Jimmy, you have like a few more scenes left, so you're good right here. I'm gonna take the three red shirts with me. And so he takes the three red shirts over. They stop over. Sean's like, all right, have fun storming the castle. It's like that kind of shit. And they go in there, Chad, and like, all right. Like, so far, things feel pretty normal, but then they notice all these statues, and they realize, oh, shit, these are all the soldiers and people that Medusa has turned to stone. And Perseus, in a very dick move, kind of pushes one over. It's like, for effect. It's like, why do that to that poor man? Come on, he already has the indignity of being turned to stone. You have to break him apart. But then, chat, oh my god, a double-headed pupper shows up. Like a two-headed wolf, chat. And it kills one of the red shirts. It fucking rips his head off, and he's just screaming shit. And then Perseus and the other two red shirts, they're fighting off this thing. Eventually, they do get the comeuppance on the wolf, chat. Perseus, he stabs the shit out of this thing. He beats it, but so the double puppo is dead, chat. It's like, okay, cool. Now, we did not expect that. No one mentioned a two-headed dog here, all right? That's kind of fucked up. And then they go into the domain of Medusa, chat. And they're walking around. Actually, it's a cool set. I do like this set. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of reds, flames sprouting out from the ground, pits of boiling acid. It's like, woo, spoopy. And these guys are going like, where the hell is? But they hear the slither, chat. And one of the guys is like, I think she's over. And then he gets fucking shot by an arrow, chat, right through the goddamn back. And he falls face first into the boiling pot, a boiling pool of acid, chat. He's like, oh no, buddy. And they lift him up, chat, and all of his front stuff falls off. Everything that was here is gone. It's just like, and they just put it back in the water. Okay, there you go. So he's dead, chat. And now it's Perseus versus Medusa, and also the other red shirt guy. Also, the reason why I call them red shirts, chat, because they're all gonna die. And so Medusa, she fucking fucks this other guy up, chat. She shoots him with an arrow. He's like, oh, my back. Why'd you do that? But he looks into the eyes of Medusa. You shouldn't have done that. That was a no-no. And he turns into stone, chat. Perseus like, fuck, I'm down 3 red shirts. Jesus. And so he's like, I gotta use my smarts now. This is not good. And also, again, Medusa, she's a filmation effect, too. Iconic for the film itself and pop culture, but still, it's a goofy-looking effect. And so she's slithering around trying to stare at Perseus. She needs that man meat, chat. She needs it. But he's smart because he remembers the shield. The shield that is just so goddamn shiny, chat, that you can see reflection in it easily. And he uses the shield to see Medusa, and he goes, bah! And he cuts her head off. He cuts her head off, shots, easy fucking peasy. And he takes the head, puts it in the sack, and he's like, I'm gonna head the hell out of here. And eventually he goes back to Jimmy, and he also has some more. You got additional red shirts showed up, chat. Thank God. We got some additional cannon fodder. And I'm like, whew, that was quite the experience. You know what, guys? We have a lot of days to spare. I think we'll be good. Also, I forgot to mention, Calibos, chat, he fucks with Pegasus because initially, Perseus was just going to use Pegasus to get to the 3 sisters, but Calibos kidnaps Pegasus, and he's keeping him in a swamp lair, his swamp kingdom. He's like, fuck, I want Pegasus. And so they're like, okay, well, it's a couple journeys back. We need some rest because that was a very emotional and trying moment. So let's get some sleep. But then who fucking shows up, chat? Calibos. He's like, oh, no. You're not going to stop the Kraken and my vengeance. And so he goes over to the sack, chat. He knows, his mama told him, McGonagall told him, that the blood of Medusa is poisonous and it spawns monstrous creatures. So he stabs that fucking sack. He lets the blood leak onto the ground and spawns giant maggots, botflies, and giant scorpions. And these things attack Perseus and his men, chat. And he's like, oh, and the scorpions, they're stinging the shit out of everybody. They're dying. They're like fucking popping because they're filled with so much venom. It's like, ooh. But they do manage to defeat the scorpions, chat, and the botflies and the maggots. But oh no, Calabas is there too. And he stabs not Jimmy. He stabs Jimmy right to the back, chat. He's like, ah, and he's dead. And Perseus is like, no, Jimmy. And then he goes over to him and Calabas fight, chat, and he's like, this is for Jimmy. And he stabs the shit out of Calabas, chat, and he dies. Good fucking riddance. He was terrible. He was a terrible human being. Not even a human being. His fucking, the thing is, chat, he was always a monster inside. And his exterior finally matched the evil and the poison that always was in him. And so he kills him. He mourns over Jimmy. He's just like, oh, shit. I'm never going to get back in time because of all this. All the horses are gone. I need to go to the swamp and get Pegasus. That's the only way to do this. And so, chat, he treks up back to the swamp land, and all the fucking Oompa Loompas, they're all dancing around Pegasus, about to eat him. It's like, no! And he kills the small people, chat, kills the dwarves, chops everyone's heads off, and he gets on Pegasus, and he flies back to Agos. Meanwhile, chat, Day 30 has come, the month's over, and they are leading the princess Andromeda to the sea to be sacrificed to the Kraken. We cut to Mount Olympus, and Maggie Smith's like, hey, Zeus, 30 days are up. You gotta summon the Kraken, baby. He's like, fuck, fine. He puts no effort into it, though. He's like, summon the Kraken. And they summon the Kraken, chat. And we see this thing. It's like, I'm gonna eat you, bitch. And he's coming right at Andromeda, chat, this big old guy. But, oh, chat, Perseus, he is right above. And he's trying to get the head of Medusa out to shine in the face of the Kraken. But the Kraken goes, bah! Hits him like a goddamn fly, chat. Perseus, he falls into the sea. Pegasus, he's knocked out. But, oh, thank God, the owl, chat. Obi, or whatever the hell his name is. Obi, he swings down, chat. He picks up the sack. And Perseus, he's managed to make it to shore, chat. He managed to make it to shore. He gets up there, and right before the Kraken's about to smush him real good, Perseus pulls out that head and goes, ah! And the Kraken goes, oh, fuck, no! Ah! And he turns the stone, Jay. He turns the stone, and he crumbles before the citizens of Joppa, before the eyes of Perseus and Andromeda and her mother, chat. Everyone goes, woo! Perseus, my man! Everyone's happy. Perseus, he goes over to Andromeda, unhooks her. They start smooching, chat. Oh, it's so romantic. You know that they're gonna start doing it tonight. And so they do the wedding ceremony. They're married. We get some narration, chat, that they had 6 children. His reign was the best ever of Joppa and Argos. They rebuild Argos. And then, chat, we end with the gods. We end with the immortals themselves. And Zeus goes, see, you motherfuckers trying to fuck with my kin. Don't do that, all right? Perseus is great. Maggie Sith, shut the fuck up and do what you told. Zeus out! And that's the movie, chat. That is Clash of the Titans. Now, again, the story itself is fun. I love Greek mythology, and that's what works about this movie. It would be a better film, I think, if it just... And the acting's good, too. The acting is very stagey. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it just feels that way. A lot of people are just talking at each other with this dialogue, taking it so seriously. But the thing that really holds it back... I'll have to fucking say. No doubt about that. But the thing that really does hold it back are its effects. The claymation or the foamation, they just don't look good at all. And even... I can't imagine, like, at the time when we were getting stuff like Star Wars... and Raiders of the Lost Ark or Aliens, like, these things looked real, or as real as you could possibly get at that time. And when you put them, I guess this film feels 20 years old in 1981. It feels like it should have come out in the 60s, so it's like, it just takes me out of it, chat. And so at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like, I did not enjoy this. I did enjoy this film. This was a fun time, but those special effects really took me out of it. So I'd probably give it a low matinee, chat. Go ahead and watch it. If you want to see if you're into sword and sandals movies and you like Greek mythology, I think it's worth a watch. But go in with the caveat, knowing that these special effects have not aged well at all. There's little charm to them, in my opinion. That's just me. But guys, what did you think of Clash of the Titans? Have you seen the film? Share your general thoughts. I'm curious. It's PG, nice voice, Chris. For who? For who in particular? Oh, man. They do want all that tribute. Jay Burr, good to see you. Welcome to stream. Ro, hope you're doing well. Oh, good to see you guys. Welcome. Oh, we gotta do another cartoon poll, too. Cool. Keen DJ, it was okay. Yeah, so we're pretty much on the same page. Like, it's okay. It's just, yeah, it's not good. There are much better films that were out at the time. You know, it just hasn't aged that well, chat. In all honesty, yeah.